Introduction. In recent years, a concerning trend has emerged in the illicit drug market, the increasing presence of xylazine, commonly known as Tranq. Xylazine, originally designed for veterinary use as a sedative and muscle relaxant, has found its way into the illicit drug trade, resulting in a surge in overdose deaths and posing complex challenges for law enforcement and public health officials. This article explores the multifaceted aspects of xylazine's rise in illicit drug mixtures. Tranq. An unlikely participant. Veterinary origins. Tranq, a non-opioid substance, was first authorized solely for veterinary purposes by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA. Its intended use was primarily to sedate large animals, such as horses and cattle, before medical procedures. Its availability in liquid form, typically in vials or preloaded syringes, allowed veterinarians to administer precise doses based on the animal's size and weight. Absence from controlled substances. Unlike many drugs with abuse potential, xylazine is not classified as a controlled substance under the U.S. Controlled Substances Act. This legal status, combined with its veterinary designation, made it an unexpected candidate for inclusion in illicit drug mixtures. Emergence in illicit drug trade. A troubling trend over the past decade, xylazine has garnered attention as a clandestine ingredient in a variety of illicit drug mixtures, particularly those containing fentanyl, cocaine, and heroin. Its addition to these substances has far-reaching consequences for drug users, healthcare providers, and law enforcement agencies. The profit motive. One of the driving forces behind xylazine's inclusion in illicit drugs is its cost-effectiveness. Xylazine powder can be purchased online from Chinese suppliers at remarkably low prices, ranging from $6 to $20 per kilogram. This affordability offers drug traffickers an opportunity to enhance their profits by using xylazine to dilute expensive drugs like fentanyl. Users' perspective. Xylazine's effects, reported by users, are often likened to those of opioids, albeit with a longer-lasting high. Some individuals intentionally seek out drugs laced with xylazine for this prolonged euphoric experience. However, a significant portion of users remains unaware of its presence, which can lead to unpredictable and potentially fatal outcomes. Health effects and overdose risks. Adverse health effects. Xylazine use can result in an array of adverse effects on the human body, including dry mouth, drowsiness, hypertension, tachycardia, hypotension, bradycardia, hyperglycemia, respiratory depression, and dysrhythmia. Of particular concern is the development of soft tissue injuries, often leading to necrotic tissue and, in some cases, necessitating limb amputation among users who inject xylazine or xylazine-containing drugs. Overdose vulnerabilities. When combined with fentanyl or other synthetic opioids, xylazine increases the risk of fatal overdoses due to its shared pharmacological effects, particularly respiratory depression. Identifying xylazine-related overdoses can be challenging in clinical settings, as their symptoms closely resemble those of opioid overdoses. Furthermore, naloxone, a standard medication for opioid overdose reversal, may have limited effectiveness against xylazine's impact on breathing. Regional variation. Geographic patterns. The prevalence of xylazine varies by region within the United States. Its emergence initially occurred in the Northeast before spreading to other parts of the country. Recent data indicates a substantial presence of xylazine in overdose deaths, with states like Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Ohio experiencing particularly high rates. Combating the xylazine epidemic. Efforts to combat the spread of xylazine in illicit drugs are multifaceted. Legislative initiatives have been introduced to address its misuse while safeguarding its legitimate veterinary use. Law enforcement agencies are intensifying their efforts to detect and disrupt the illicit trade in xylazine-containing drugs. Additionally, public health campaigns aim to educate both drug users and healthcare providers about the dangers associated with xylazine. Conclusion. The unexpected ascent of xylazine in illicit drug mixtures presents a complex and evolving challenge to public health and law enforcement agencies. As its prevalence continues to rise and users remain at risk, proactive measures, including legislative changes, law enforcement actions, and public awareness campaigns, are essential to address this emerging threat and mitigate the devastating consequences of xylazine misuse.